We'll call this session of the September 3rd meeting of the DeKalb County Council. We are in session. We'll begin with an opening prayer with Rick Collins, please.
Let's pray together. Father God, we stop in this moment to once again ask for your wisdom as we take a look at the year to come, 2026. We took a look at all the departments, all the services that we offer to this county. When I say we as citizens pay into these accounts and then we offer it back to the citizens. Help us know exactly how to be the best stewards of these monies. Give us clear thoughts tonight. Give us direction as we move through this time. We pray for the citizens of our county tonight, those that are in need, that they would their needs would be met by their community, by our services, by their neighbors. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rick. Would you please stand for the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. You have before you minute copies of the August 13th minute or meeting. I'm sure everybody has looked through it. Do we have any additions or corrections?
We have the 13th and the 18th. I had forgotten about the 18th when I did our agenda, but I had them both there. The 18th was when we came back for the wheel tax. That's all that was on that one.
All right. So we have two sets of minutes.
Yes.
Consensus to do them in one motion. Do we have any additions or corrections to the August 13th and the August 18th minutes? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a motion by Rick Collins, second.
I'll second.
Second by Amy Prosser. Any further discussion? We'll call for the question. All those in favor of approving the August 13th and the August 18th minutes signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Minutes are approved. Thank you. Okay, before we get started here,
That's fine.
I just want to say thank you to Susan and Jody. You put a lot of work in on this for everything that's coming later on in the meeting there, and I know it hasn't been easy. This is probably, as we get into the budget, one of the most challenging ones we've ever had because of all of the uncertainty. So I appreciate all your efforts, and I know it hasn't been easy, but thank you for a good job.
Thank you.
Okay, we have one additional, or two additionals from the Highway Department. The first one is from the Highway General Fund, number 1176, account number 33410. Account title is Liability Insurance. The amount requested is $13,700. Was this included in the annual budget request? And that answer is yes. How will this appropriation be used? This will be used for 2025 insurance premiums. Rates rose $23,000 this year. Specific cost of item, $83,649.17. And how was this cost determined? An invoice from the auditor's office. Is this a reoccurring expense? And the answer is yes. Will other expenditures be necessary? And the answer is no. Was it discussed with the liaison? Yes, and that was Bob Kraft. Okay, do we have a motion to approve the liability insurance additional of $13,700?
Are you doing separate or together?
Well, we can do them both together there, I'm sorry. Do we have consensus to do them both together? Okay. So the second one then is appropriate to natural gas at $10,000. And that is from the DeKalb County Highway Department, the General Highway Fund, Fund number 1176, account number 33520. Account title is Gas, Natural Gas. The amount requested was $10,000. Was this included in the annual budget request? And the answer is yes. How will this appropriation be used? This will be used for our utilities. Invoices are much higher on the new campus. Specific cost of the item, $10,000 approximate. And how was this cost determined? Average of invoices received since we have moved. Is this a reoccurring expense? And the answer is yes. Will other expenditures be necessary? The answer is no. Was it discussed with the liaison? The answer is yes. And the liaison's name was Bob Kraft. Okay, do we have a motion to approve both of these transfers?
I'll move.
Or additionals, I'm sorry.
I'll move to approve.
We have a motion by Bob Kraft. Do we have a second?
I do have a question about the NIPSCO,
About the what?
about the NIPSCO bill.
Okay, do we need to get a second?
Get the second, and then,
Okay, second now, we'll take your question. Rick?
Who seconded?
Rick, did you second it?
no, I didn't second
Oh, I'm
it.
sorry.
I said I got a question.
Okay, I thought you said you'd second.
You need a second.
Amy Prosser is going to second. So we have a motion by Bob Kraft, second by Amy Prosser. Now, any questions from the council?
Is this truly the gas increase, or was this the electric? It seems to me that being Waterloo, being NIPSCO, it's probably more likely the electric, not gas.
Well, they have both.
Right,
I mean, NIPSCO's on
right.
both.
Both.
So, I don't know, I guess, let me see what I can find.
So you can find.
So maybe it's probably all on one invoice.
Yeah, it probably is, but I'll see.
We have NIPSCO gas at the Y, and I'm about 5,000 over budget already this year. It's went way up this year for some reason.
It did, but
I'm not
more
sure.
than, moving from Auburn Electric to
That would be
NIPSCO would be
that would be a
big thing,
difference
so,
too.
yeah.
Yes. Could be good. Although Auburn Electric's bills have gone down considerably for commercial rates.
It is both.
It is both, okay.
But NIPSCO's proposing a 17% increase this year. And we're seeing,
In electric,
well, I'm on the natural gas side there.
I got their gas too, so.
So, any further questions?
So they're proposing 17% more for
Yeah.
next year than what we,
Yep.
to catch that in a budget line, make sure he's bumped that up. 'Cause
Any further questions? Rick, you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, any further questions? We'll call for the question. All those in favor of approving the additionals from the Highway Department signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Additionals are approved. Okay. Next order of business is transfers, and these will take approval for the council. First one comes from the surveyor. It is in the amount of $1,000. Fund name is General Fund, number 1001. The amount to be transferred is $1,000. It is from account number 44420. Account title is Computer Equipment, being transferred to account number 34295. The account title is Travel, Training, and Education in the amount of $1,000. Why is this transfer needed? Additional funding is needed to pay for a hotel room, mileage, and meals for staff. Will additional appropriation be requested due to this transfer? And that answer is no. Was it discussed with the liaison? And the answer is no. And the liaison's name is Bill Van Wy. Okay, do we have a motion to approve the $1,000 transfer?
So moved.
Thank you, Rick. We have a motion approved by Rick Ring. Do we have a second? Okay, second by Bill Van Wy. Now, any further discussion from council members?
I made a statement earlier in the year that if these folks don't talk to their representative, that I would vote no, so I will be voting no. On this one, I think that they should always talk to their liaison about any of these moves.
I talk to mine every month. This happened to come across after I talked to him. I talked to him this morning, and we discussed it at the department head meeting. I don't need to be told how I'm discussing. I meet with mine anyone more than anybody else. but I'm not gonna be criticized for not talking. You can vote your no. I don't care. But I tell you one thing, and you can go over there and talk to him, the Plan Commission, the Health Department, or the Soil and Water and see what they say. But I'm not gonna be criticized for that.
Okay,
Make it noted that I did not mention or criticize the councilman at all. I said that the person from that department needs to talk to their liaison. Thank you.
do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, Amy?
I just want to say too, and I didn't take that as he was attacking you, Bill. I just think it's important, and I know you talk, I mean, you talk to everybody. You know everybody and you know how things work. I just think it's very helpful if, even if something happens after the fact, hey, send me a quick email so I know it's coming up in council, so I don't look like I'm out of the loop. So I mean, I didn't take that either. I just think the department heads just need to really, even if it's just a quick email, I'm okay with that.
I talked to him this morning. He brought it to me because I noticed it in there. when
Oh,
I
for
was reading the
sure.
Stuff yesterday, and I was to the department heads, and I talked to him. So,
Oh, and I mean, I didn't take that either, but I know I've had times where mine comes through as no, and I get asked questions and I have no idea. So I don't think it was anything intentional either way.
But
Mr. President, can I ask that on this where it says discuss with liaison?
Whoa,
Now that
one
we know
at a
that that
time.
is,
Rick,
now that we know that that's done so, can we switch that to yes? We now know that information. Can we change that on the transfer request?
You can change it on yours, but those are what are submitted to me for the meeting. So, I mean, there would be nothing
Councilman
for
Van
me.
Wy says it has, so I can do so.
On yours, it's not gonna be changed on anything
I
that was
understand where
scanned.
Bill's coming from. Bill's good at it.
the fact of the matter is that these, you know, these things get filed early. There was one from the sheriff's department that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. If it's marked as no when they turned it in and I talked to them afterwards, I would mention it here, and Bill should have mentioned that he talked to them this morning.
And now we know.
But
He's
Bill
mentioned it.
always talks to his people. I mean, there's.
There was no question about that. There was absolutely no question about that.
Bill's probably the
not
best
directed
one on
towards
the council
Councilman
here
Van Wy.
talking to his people. He is. And I didn't take it as a personal attack there, but.
Absolutely not.
But this stuff does happen. I've had people present things after we've discussed, so. Okay.
I just
any
had a
other-
question
anything
about what was the training? We know what the training is, just out of curiosity.
They're going to a stormwater something. It has some, I don't know, a stormwater or something with the ditches.
Thank you.
There is a conference. I had a contact with a couple people from Wells County that are going also, from the Plain Commission.
yeah, they're working on drainage and the way they handle the storm issue on some of the outsides of the towns and stuff that's on the county side. They're trying to get the water away from the roads as quick as they can.
Like, it's well needed. Good, thank you.
Any further questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second. We'll call for the question. All those in favor of approving the $1,000 transfer from the surveyor's office signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Transfer is granted. The next one comes to us from the Community Corrections. It's from the Building Repair and Maintenance Fund to equipment for $1,999.99. It looked like they tried real hard to keep it under $2,000.
I'm not sure why that's that
So-
way.
Okay, anyway, it's from the JCC Change Academy. Fund name is County General. Fund number is 1001. The object number 025. The amount to be transferred is $1,999.99. And it is from account number 1001.33680.025.0913. The account title is a Building Repair and Maintenance Fund, being transferred to account number 1001.44430.025.0913. The account title is Equipment, and the amount is $1,999.99. Why is this transfer needed? Already transferred this to 33680, Building Repair and Maintenance, and when claim was processed, Leanne said it needs to be paid from a 4 account, so requesting a second transfer transfer $1,999.99 from 33680 building repair and maintenance to 44430 equipment to pay invoice. Entrance door at Change Academy, new location fixed so that it works with the existing system. Work was completed by Sonatrol, invoice 15344 for $1,999.99. Will additional appropriation be requested due to this transfer? The answer is no. Was it discussed with the liaison? The answer is yes, and that liaison is Amy Dembski. Can we have a motion to approve the $1,999.99 transfer from Community Corrections?
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion from Amy Dembski. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Rick Collins. Okay, at this time, is there any further discussion to come before the council?
It said here, I want to ask to make sure, from 4 accounts, is this all put together, or is this the first one we have to approach?
The other one, I think, was a non-approval. I questioned it because the first transfer that she did wasn't even done because it was going to this meeting. So we didn't need the first transfer, we only needed from the first account to the last account, but I think there was more paperwork that had to be done because it has to do with the grants and DCC, and she just wanted to leave it as is.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Hearing none, we'll call for the question. All those in favor of the transfer from Community Corrections for $1,999.99 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Transfer is granted. The next one comes to us from Central Communications, and the fund name is the Public Safety Lowit. And the fund number is 1170. The amount to be transferred is $3,082.56, and it is from account number 1170.3324.000.0034. The account title is Telecommunications, and it is to account number 1170.44430.000.0034. The account title is Equipment, and the amount is $3,082.56. Why is this transfer needed? To cover the cost of the new Mevo Anywhere kit, and I'm not sure what Mevo.
I'll explain it when you get done.
Okay. Will additional appropriation be requested due to this transfer? The answer is no. Was it discussed with the liaison? And that's yes, and that was Rick Ring. Do we have a motion to approve this transfer from Central Communications of $3,082.56? We have a motion by Rick Ring and a second by Bob Kraft. Any further discussion?
This is the equipment that Brian has been researching to cover the issue if the Central Communications area should be damaged or go down. They can actually pick up this equipment and go to anywhere in the county and still dispatch. So this is part of his emergency preparedness plan.
Okay.
And there will be, while there's no more here, there will be, he's taking this out of his budget, that he has the money in the budget. There is an amount that will be paid then every year to maintain the equipment.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Any further questions, discussion from the council? Hearing none, I'm sorry, Bob?
I think it's great. Does it have to have internet to run that? Like,
Now that
There was
I
a-
can't,
there was a huge destructive
that I can't answer.
tornadoes or something. like that.
Whether it's probably, Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
but I can't answer that.
Might
I
get
do-
to a tower or something that has it or something, and why?
No, he's been talking
good
about,
idea.
they've been looking at going to different areas where they could actually set up.
Yeah, a tornado could actually hit the building and you're wiped out there.
Any further discussion? Okay, we'll call for the question. All those in favor of the transfer from Central Communication of $3,082.56 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Transfer is granted. Okay, the next one comes from the surveyor. We have two of them. Do we have consensus to do these in one motion? Okay, thank you. The first one just one second. The first one is from the surveyor. The fund name is the Cornerstone Perpetuation. It is fund number 1202. The amount to be transferred is $10,000. From account 44430, account title is Equipment, to account number 22130. Account title is Operating Supplies, and that is for $5,000. The second one is from account number 34330. The account title is Contractual Services, to account number 22130, Operating Supplies for $5,000. Why is this transfer needed? The office is ordering cornerstone markers to replace the red cornerstone markers in the county. More funding is needed in the operating supplies account to cover the invoice. Will additional appropriation be requested due to this transfer? The answer is no. Was it discussed with the liaison? And the answer is yes. Liaison's name is Bill Van Wy. Do we have a motion to approve the two transfers for a total of $10,000 from the surveyor?
So move.
Have a motion by Bill Van Wy. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Bob Kraft. Any further discussion?
I just had a question is, why are they replacing them? Just so I understand the process, so.
It's a process they have to go through. I don't know whether so much they're replacing it as getting them updated to where they should be and everything. They just put it as a replacement on the red ones, but they have to, they're supposed to, and she can explain it better than I can, but she, to get everything updated, they're supposed to have all the cornerstones updated and everything.
Some of them aren't, some of them you can't find, some of them are crumbled and crushed,
And
and they're important for all the surveys that get done.
Was this the topic at the commissioners' meeting on Monday or Tuesday? I thought Tyler brought something up about this.
You thought what?
I thought Tyler brought something up about these cornerstones on.
That will be coming, that's coming back at the next,
But it shouldn't be really they replacing it. Well, they are, and they're not, because the red ones are the old outdated ones. They have to put new ones in so they can see it and recheck, make sure everything's in their, I understand, right location and everything.
They're mandated to do a certain percentage every year by statute, so.
Okay, thank you.
We went through this several years ago for that very reason Susan mentioned. So many of these cornerstones, nobody knows where they're at. There was no record, and we are required to do this. So, any further?
Color help, so they know they're a certain color, they were updated at a certain time period.
Don't know.
I was,
Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor of approving the surveyor's transfer for $10,000 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Transfer is granted. The last one we have is from the probation department. We have 3 requests. Can we do those with consensus in one motion? Thank you. Okay, the first one is from probation, fund number 9124. The amount to be transferred total is $1,000. First one is from account number 22190. The account title is Drug Enforcement Supplies, to account number 33900. The account title is Testing Services. The amount to be transferred is $200. The second one comes from account number 22730. The account title, Other Operating Services, being transferred to account number 33900. The account title is Testing Services. The amount requested is $300. And the third one comes from account number 22110. The account title is Office Supplies, being requested to transfer to account number 33900. The account title is Testing Services in the amount of $500. Why is this transfer needed? The transfer is needed due to continued increase in the mental health caseload which resulted in increased testing services. Will additional appropriation be requested due to this transfer? The answer is no. Was it discussed with the liaison? And we don't have a name for the liaison. So, do we have a motion to approve the $1,000 from probation?
So moved.
We have a motion by Rick Ring. Do we have a second? Second by Amy Dembski. Any further discussion or questions from the council? Hearing none, we'll call for the question. All those in favor of transferring the $1,000 within the probation department signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Pardon?
No.
No? Okay, so we have 6-1 on that. Okay, that is the last one we have on the additionals in the transfer request. Okay, the next one is the non-approval transfers that you have, which requires no action from the council. Next order of business is the 2025 County Salary and Wage Ordinance Amendment, and that ordinance is number 2025-OCC-8. And we are amending ordinance number 2024-OCC-10. This is coming from the Sheriff's Department, and the job title is Part-Time Animal Control Officer. The WIS category is Civilian Pole B, pay up to a max of $23.49 per hour. Susan?
Yeah.
Effective for 2025 new hire in May, sheriff is paying as a qualified professional in a COMAT A category, thus the pay hour difference from CIV civilian, civilian Pole B at $22.13. So going from basically $22.13 to $23.49.
So the 2213 is the 2025 rate that you guys set for civilian Pole B. So we briefly discussed this last time, and I don't know if one of the Amy's or Bob want to talk about it, but their WIS says that it's a civilian Pole B. The sheriff is paying as a qualified professional, which the qualified professional that gets paid $23.49 is in COMAT A. So there's a couple different things. So you can choose as council if you want to go with the civilian Pole B category that WIS has suggested, or if you want to go have this position in the qualified professional COMAT A position. I assume, so the qualified professional for Sheriff's Department, that is when his deputies come back and work part-time that have the qualifications and the training. I would assume that this person would also have to have specialized training to be able to take care of these animals. Or you can choose to go with WIS at civilian Pole B, and only this particular position be paid the $23.49 instead of $22.13 in that category. Did I explain that right? Okay.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve on first reading?
I think we first need to decide whether you're keeping it with the WIS suggestion or wanting to change it or
Did that
not.
before?
I mean,
So it's civilian Pole B, and the second one is titled
is a COMAT A,
COMAT
and they call it a qualified professional.
So essentially, we're determining whether or not we're going to agree with the sheriff to keep it at COMAT A and pay that individual $23.49, which would be outside of what WIS is telling us. WIS is saying, no, that's not the the right one, it should be civilian pool B, and you should only be paying him $22.13. If we to go with keeping him there, as per WIS, then we would be paying that person outside of the rates that we have established,
Correct.
which would possibly create a nightmare, because other people in that
It could.
category could
Isn't the
say,
only
"Here."
position that is paid outside of their
Okay,
rate either. I mean, it's happened other places.
yep,
So yeah, that's a call up to you guys.
okay.
But if we put it in Comot A, we can pay the higher rate. That's what.
Yeah, the Comot, the Comot A is set at $23.49.
So we would determine then that that position is not what WIS is suggesting. We are saying that it's actually a more qualified position than what it is. Not
I can see,
than what,
According to what was.
according to what WIS says.
yes. I can see both ways. I mean, you wouldn't want me out there trying to get an animal. It wouldn't work. So, I mean, I was just assume that they obviously have some kind of professional training to be able to deal with
That this person does.
horses and snakes and,
Well, I don't know about the snakes, but the horses, yes. I think this person does have specialized training and was previously employed in Allen County, I believe,
I think so too.
so.
But this person is not a police officer.
No, but is acting at the request of law enforcement officers. I don't.
But I guess let me ask one more thing. So how did we decide that this should be under the sheriff's department? I mean, is that where it belongs? I don't know.
No,
Is
the
this where
sheriff and Central Communications and the commissioners have been discussing this. Trouble is, it never went the route that it was supposed to go
Right.
and go to the HR committee. So, which would have solved all these issues. If
And
it
I
had
don't
been
know what,
But I
much to
would,
the
it
other,
may
like
very
we were
well be
talking
the right
before.
department. I don't know.
I would think the sheriff's department's the right department because the deputies are the ones that they're the ones that are gonna be needing the person.
And this is covering a job that supposedly, in the past, was done by the Humane Shelter. But the Humane Shelter says they don't have anybody for this, and I don't think they're doing horses, and I just heard the other day they're not doing cats anymore either, so.
We have horses.
Now Auburn Police just caught
Besides
one.
the
Yeah.
one time.
Right.
I mean,
Twice, caught him twice,
Twice.
was it the same horse?
Horse or a mule sounds.
yeah.
Oh,
It made Channel 21's news
Okay.
twice.
I can tell you that the commissioners have put into their budget, because they have like the humane shelter
Right.
that they give to, and they have TNR, the trap neuter release, and they've also added, I can't say it, but one of the horse somethings
I did see that.
that they're able to have a place to take these animals to. There's probably more than what we hear about.
Just so that you all know, if we left him at civilian pool C or B and let him be overpaid for the rest of this year, a 4% raise next year, he still would be making more than he's supposed to in that.
What if you didn't,
Civilian
what if you didn't give him a raise at all?
If you didn't give him a raise,
He'd still be making more.
he'd still be making, he'd still be making more than, if everybody else got a 4%, he'd still be making more than that 4%.
I would think that,
If you've left him down in that lower.
I would think that the way to handle this is, we believe that this person is going to have some training to do this job, put them in Comot A, but let the sheriff and the commissioners know that if they do this again, that we're not gonna approve it. That there is a process that the council has set up to add positions and set the pay for different positions, and if they're not, they've got to follow it, or they're not gonna get approved.
The good news is that I believe the sheriff has plenty of money in his budget to pay for that the rest of the year because of offices that aren't filled or whatever. It's not gonna take an additional out of this year's budget, but the bad news is we didn't follow protocol.
Yeah, we need to make sure that they follow protocol, that's all there is to it.
So why would we not do that now, follow protocol? Are you suggesting we
Well,
not follow it now, but follow it for next year, or?
The
already-
sheriff,
from
the
this day
sheriff is already
forward.
paying that
Already
position.
working.
you're already,
Being paid.
she's hired, she's being paid, I mean, and go, and go over and tell her that we're gonna knock her down $1 an hour. Which could lose them the position that they filled. You know, I guess at the bottom line with this, gotta lay it at the commissioners and the sheriff, they didn't follow the process.
The sheriff has been made aware. The sheriff has been made aware.
The other thing you can do is, we are gonna meet again tomorrow. You could delay this and have the sheriff come in and explain it.
What is the will of the council?
And maybe he could speak to that training and the position, the category that you put it in.
I think any information he can give us helps, because it really puts us in a hard spot.
I don't think any of our other departments have the liberty to do that. Do you, Lita? No, absolutely not. So that's the part that
So,
we've taken liberties
I
to
would
do
suggest
this.
that
I had-
we have the sheriff come in tomorrow.
I had to change my categories. I had to take my people down.
What do you take them down as far as lower their pay?
I had to change their category altogether. And yes, it was lower pay.
do we have consensus from the council then to delay this until tomorrow where the sheriff can come in?
I think so.
Absolutely.
This looks like
Yeah,
we
I
do.
think any information that he can provide to us maybe helps answer our questions that we have.
Susan, can you put him on the agenda
Decision
for
either
tomorrow
way.
then?
I will see if I can get a hold of him.
Okay, thank you.
Please
Okay.
remember, though, we discussed this last time, and I had told you I got as much information as I could, so, I mean, there's been plenty of time for you guys to reach out to him as well. It's just frustrating. But I will ask him.
And that one is on me. That one's on me. He did not approach me about this, and I didn't approach him about it.
I know, but I mean, anybody can contact him.
Since
We
it's
have
on,
consensus from the council to move this. Don,
Mr. Chairman, since it's on the agenda, we probably should have a motion to table.
a motion to
Table.
table, okay.
I'll make a motion that we table this until tomorrow.
Okay, we have a motion to table this.
I'll second it.
A second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the question. All those in favor of tabling this until tomorrow's session signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. Okay, now we're ready for the 2026 county budget work session to
Dave,
begin.
did you have somebody coming in to talk to us today, or?
There was for the public hearing. They said they were going to be here.
Okay.
So, know whether they show or not, but I'm assuming that's going to be, well,
I mean, we have some office holders here, but we have another member in the audience. I didn't know if he was here just to listen, or? Pardon?
During the public hearing.
Okay, all right.
so Susan, do we have public hearing to convey now?
Now, it's advertised airport is advertised at 6 o'clock, and the county is advertised
But
to
we were
open
going
at
to
6:15.
give the public an opportunity to speak here.
When you open the public hearing. You can't open it until 6 o'clock, so I had to advertise it.
Okay, thanks.
So you open at 6 for the airport, do your thing, and then you close that one, and then at 6:15, you can open the public hearing for the county.
Okay, so the public can speak at 6:15.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Susan,
Yep.
where do you want to go right now with the budget work session?
Up to you guys.
Okay, Rick?
Give us a couple options.
Yeah, Can I,
I handed it all to you guys. I've emailed it, I've uploaded it on SharePoint, it's all printed. I don't know what else to give you. I can't make the decisions.
I didn't know if you had a place where you would like us to start that makes it flow easier, or something you would like us to tackle first.
Are we going to just start with the departments and move our way down and look at each one of them?
I don't care. I don't know. I mean,
Do we want,
I've given,
Why don't we start
The
through the department?
app,
And
I've
if we have any
given-
questions about any particular lines of items, maybe that's a good time to ask the questions.
And
That way, then,
and then after we do each department, we can go back and talk about
correct.
pay, because that's really the big,
Correct.
that's the
Because there
one
are some-
big thing hanging out there is the
I have some questions about a couple different things that popped up that while I was reading them, I was like, oh, I don't remember what they said. So it'd be good, I think if we all just went through them, and I guess how we've done it in the past, just gone through,
Can you,
review each
We-
one, so. I think
we have them in alphabetical order.
Which is fantastic.
You have a question, Bob?
yeah. This has our general fund only in the target from the past years.
Yep.
With these different rates of increases, which I know show more than just the wages, because they're applied to all the counts. Is there a number where we know where we're at for this year with a certain column entered? Like if you went 4%, 3%, 2.5%?
Yeah, that was the,
At the bottom of this sheet?
yeah, probably the very last page.
So that gives, I mean, that's a starting point for me to know where we're at percent-wise. All the way to the bottom. So 25, 26, 27, 27%. The only issue with that is you were asked to include, or to apply the 4% or 3% or 2.5% to every single line, which really skews that when you have lines like in county highway that are 200,000 or 300,000 for something that's not a wage.
I didn't apply it to every line.
No, she didn't.
I only applied to the wages.
Well, and
The percentages should only be the wages. The rest of the numbers are entered in as the department heads gave them to Susan and Jody.
but the green, pink, orange, like under highway department, I was looking and everything went up by that percent from what they had submitted. Pull that one back up here.
You're looking at
Yeah, like if you go to highway, and, for instance, I was looking at the gas and the electric in particular earlier today, and he submitted 20,000, last year was 15,000. If we do a 4% increase, it raises it to 20,800, which would be 4% of that 20,000 he submitted. Do a 3% is 20,600, 20,500. So it is raising that heat.
Let me look at,
You're right.
So,
those are the ones that I just added.
and maybe this sheet just is printed wrong. Maybe I don't have the updated thing.
No, I think,
But, you know, on certain things like,
No, it was probably in my exhaustion trying to get this ready that I didn't.
like a repair parts and supplies is a 200,000 line, so that jumps 8,000 when you put 4%
So
in.
how about you not do highway and I will look at it?
And I don't know if any of the other ones, I don't think, yeah, the other ones, health services is that way. I didn't look at the first one.
we did just to start with the assessor, gonna work our way through alphabetically.
Yeah, the first one, office supplies, does not do that, on the very first one. So, it's not all of them.
are you looking at the assessor? Bob?
Yeah, if you look at office supplies, it does not go up at all across those lines, the 4%, 3%. So it was just maybe a couple, one or two departments, so let's start with the ones that are right. Go.
They put them in alphabetical order on the big sheets, so it'll be easier, okay.
So my reference is, we'll get a better number on our percentage at the bottom of that page tomorrow, once we fix the highway.
Highway's not even in county general.
Okay, that's true, you're right, you're right.
The percentages are only county
So it's
general.
just county general that we have to worry about that anyway. You're right, sorry. And that would be all of these that you probably have right. Yep.
I didn't have anything on the assessor. It looked like everything was pretty much status quo from last year. Anybody else have any questions about any of that before we moved on maybe to auditor? Okay, so auditor. Susan, on the seasonal temporary, that went down. Was that just because you just don't need them as much, or?
That went down, and actually we can get rid of it altogether.
Okay.
We can take out whatever I have in there.
Is that because that position just goes
The,
away, you don't need it, or is it?
I don't need to keep it. The employee, she was a college student, and she now has her degree, and she is off to her nursing job, so she won't be here with us.
Okay.
Can I ask one more question about this percent thing?
Yeah.
The ones you have at the bottom here, 25, 26, 27%, are those based on us just hitting our target for 25, or what we think we might have extra? Because we typically end a year with more than what we thought.
These
It's
are
hard for you to
based,
know that, you can't tell.
these are based on what county general full amount would be, depending on the wage increase, minus the 5 cuts that I know of, assuming you guys are all agreeing with those cuts. Then we get the bottom line black total. So if those are the amounts we go with for county general, then the target would be those percentages for the 2026 budget. And I won't know what we end with until the end of the year.
Right, but that's without any extra put in here from now until the end of the year that we might end up with unused funds. It doesn't, you can't calculate that.
I have that done. Yeah, so I have estimates on,
Oh, you do already have that in there, okay.
yeah, I have all of that
So
in
it's,
there.
so we're not, okay, gotcha.
And that's the one you updated a few hours ago, or this morning, or something? That last,
No,
last one?
the one like this is what I updated.
So Susan, on your, couple other things there, I'm back onto the big long list here with your department on it. Just looking through, you, looks like, where would it go? You had one replacement that salary went down, I'm guessing because you're hiring somebody new. That,
Correct. So there was a possibility last year that I was replacing 2 people. One person didn't retire yet, but she probably is going to retire next year.
okay.
So I didn't need to replace 2 people next year that I know of. I only know of one that I may have to replace.
And then you have under transfer, Comat B can no longer fund part in 11, and that was like a 100% increase. Can you explain that one as well?
So that one is one of my transfer deputies, and we have funded him, this was even when Jan was here, we have funded him through my 1181 fund, but we now have used up all the extra money that we have there, that I can't fund him there any longer.
Okay. But this salary is going up from 22 to 45, is that right?
That's only because a portion of it was paid out of the 1181 and a portion of it was paid out of,
Okay.
of the other. That's-
Gotcha.
It just looks that way.
Fund, yeah.
Not increase, I mean, it's an increase to the county general because we're
Correct.
gonna pay for all of it now,
There's
but
just no
their
way to pull
salary.
it correctly.
Okay,
Yeah, their salary isn't changing, it's just,
yep.
yeah, because I could still do half of it for this year,
Sorry, that's skewed.
but not,
There's just really no good way to do it.
Okay, yep, no problem. Just wanted to be clearly understood that. Okay,
Right, that,
easy.
you know, the theme that holds through most of these departments is they've definitely held the line on everything. There are certain things that did go up like that, but for the most part, their budgets only went up 1% or 2%. And it's gonna be wages that's gonna be the big increase.
And I think for, at least for me, on some of those wages, it was just more about those types of things, as well as some of the part-time pieces of, in the budget, I'm not sure if they're saying it's one part-time person or two part-time people and how much they're making, so that will just
I
come
think
up
in
at
some
point.
cases, it's just money that can bring in a part-time person, even temporarily.
Yeah,
But they're also, we changed the rules a few years ago, where before we fixed it at something like $19 or $18, and now, if a person retires at $25 an hour and comes back to work part-time, they don't go down to $19 an hour when they come back.
right,
They're still getting paid for their education and their
Knowledge.
experience and everything else. So that was a change that we made a number of years ago.
it's a separate line. It's account 11995.
at Central Dispatch. Notice that they kind of went through a lot of their stuff and added a 4%. Was there any direction to the departments to add a certain percent? I know in the years past we have, but I didn't think that there was. Okay. It just seems consistent of, oh, I need 4% more, 4% more, 4%.
I'd have to look. I almost thought that we said to keep the operating side at 4% or below, but not do anything with the wages.
That was what we told them. But it's going back to the 3 columns that you've already provided us as to what those raises might be.
Yeah. So yeah, we did tell them to stay at 4 or below because we knew that the MLGQ was gonna be 4%.
So it did come back as 4%?
Not on wages, but just on the other stuff.
That, from DLGF, yes, our growth quotient is 4%.
But the assessor stayed the same, the auditor actually went down 10,000, she went down 1%.
But the Central Communications went up, their total budget increased by 10%. No, wait, yeah, 10%. So,
Did they move some things from public safety to 911 fund or the reverse of that?
Yeah, I was,
I'm not totally sure on that. I know that they had increased, they have a couple, like, maintenance contracts and software agreements with some of the new programming and stuff that they had, that those costs would have are increased, so those had to be added into the 2026 budget. Like, his,
The CAD looks like it increased.
the maintenance contracts went from 122,759 to 150,000. And I know that that was one of them, there was a new contract that they entered into that added to that. And I believe that that was also the same on the, not like agreement, but I believe there's something equipment-wise that he needs with.
If you look on that first page, the projected increase for CAD Spillman, first of 5 years at 137,000.
Oh, yeah, that was a huge one.
That would do it right there, because the original was 12,000.
Well, Central put 0 in for salaries, just on some things they increased in their regular budget what they needed to.
What was that?
Central Communications, they didn't add anything to their salaries. They did add to their perf line and some of the insurance and some of those kind of things, but they didn't add to their salaries. Their salaries they kept the same. Under statewide 911. Anybody, I'm good with Central Dispatch.
yeah.
And it does look like he pulled himself and Tiffany out of the 911 fund and moved it to the public safety fund, so it went from one fund to another.
But still kept them same.
They're in Lowell.
Yep.
They're, depending on what wage increase you would give them, their department went up 4%, 5%, or 6%, depending on what, which again, I'm finding that to be very consistent with everybody.
Are we moving on to circuit court or?
Yeah, I think so, I'm ready.
Okay.
So all three courts are stapled there together
Okay.
so that you can see them.
Cool.
Like the only increase was a potential one particular person for an additional
Susan.
4.
Again, the increase is just whatever salary increase we would give them. Although, and is it, did we approve the upgrade to their technology in the actual courtroom for this year? Because that was the only big increase that was coming from Superior 2. They wanted to match what they have in Superior 1 as far as technology.
I don't remember, honestly.
They spoke about it in our meetings,
Yeah, that was a software
Did.
yeah,
update.
that they would look to be doing that in '26, but Are we seeing it?
See it.
I don't either.
Okay, it's 6 o'clock. We're going to recess the council meeting right now, and we're going to move into the public hearing regarding the airport budget. So at this time, we'll call the budget public hearing in session right now. So we are in the public hearing for the airport at this time. So, first of all, do we have anybody that wants to speak regarding this part?
The airport one.
The airport part, correct. Hearing none. Closed public hearing. We have nobody. Again, anybody wishing to speak on the airport? Public hearing. Okay, at this time, we will close the public hearing on the airport.
Okay, so for council, did you guys look at their budget?
I'm sorry, what, Susan?
We need to, well, usually you pass, and I give you the ordinance number, on the first reading as part of the public hearings. You don't have to do it today, you can do it tomorrow also, but I didn't know if there was anything you needed to talk about with the airport.
And I'll jump in on something else. Brady will be here at 9:30 tomorrow. He has a central communications meeting at 10, so 9:30 works for him.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Anybody on the council have anything to discuss regarding the airport?
Yeah, what was the total budget, yes, change
So-
from last year to this year?
How about I read what Russ sent? He said that the levy for airport cumulative building fund is unchanged. The levy for general fund is down slightly by a negative 0.05%, and the rainy day fund is not levy supported. Our budget for the airport cumulative bid fund is unchanged. Our budget for general fund is increased by 4%, and the budget for rainy day is decreased by $1 million. So they estimated rainy day for $735,000. The airport authority, or like their general, $840,660, and the cumulative airport building at $95,000, for a total of $1,670,660. I can, give me 1 second. So last year, let me see if it has a total here. Okay. I gotta add it real quick. Last year, it was $2,638,320. There was 1.735 for rainy day. Because I think they were doing extension, maybe? Highway, or airport? Did they do they did something that they used.
This year, they're working on taxiway.
Yeah, so
This year's budget, the taxiways are under. It will connect the taxiways to the strip, also allow them to increase
do you want the numbers for the general last year and the building, Amy?
Yeah.
Okay, so the airport general was 808,320. And the building was 95,000.
Thank you. Let me just, so essentially they're asking for roughly $1 million less than they asked for last year? Is that what I'm understanding?
In rainy day, yeah, they're asking for $1 million less there and like 32,340 more in their general budget, which follows the 4% growth quotient.
Okay.
Susan, do we have in our packet anything pertaining to the airport?
I don't think I printed anything. It's probably just uploaded.
Okay.
But do you guys want to pass it on the first reading or do it tomorrow? What do you want to do?
Everyone's good. We should at least pass it.
Right?
I'll make the motion that we pass the airport budget on first reading.
And that ordinance will be 2025-OCC-9.
What was that again, please?
2025-OCC-9.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the airport budget 2025-OCC-9 on the first reading. And we have a second by Bill Van Wy. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the question. All those in favor of approving the airport budget on first reading signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Pardon? Okay, thank you. Motion is passed 6-1. And we want to table this until tomorrow then?
There's nothing else to do on it. There's nothing else to do on the airport.
Okay.
So on
So now you have 6 minutes till county.
the courts, It looks like all of the courts were basically stayed the same, and from what I'm understanding, no, according to the letter attached, no increase for judicial officers and prosecutors this year at all? Is that,
Yes, the
That's
state,
fixed at 5,000 by state law.
okay.
what'd you say, Rick?
They said the 5,000 is part of state law. The budget, the rates for the judges and prosecutor are set by the
Right,
by the Supreme
but
Court.
this year, the state did not give them increases. So it's flatline for
Or their basic
2025.
salary. But our
Correct.
portion of it is 5,000, that stays the same.
Yes.
Rick, you asked a question about the software for the judges that Patrick came in and talked about.
I don't know that it might be software, but I thought it was more equipment. Monitors, wiring, Wi-Fi, all of that.
Wasn't it, one of the courts needed a serious upgrade or to do on,
Right.
one of the courts needed a serious upgrade to equipment to do the online stuff.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
he wants to match what Superior One's already got.
Yeah, and there's really nothing, hardly anything there. I don't know if that's a courthouse, is that a courthouse or in the judge's budget or IT or Hume Cap?
Well, you would think it would be in Hume Cap.
I don't see it in Cume Cap. I'm guessing that they talked to you about it after they had to submit budgets, and it wasn't in there. And I don't recall that there was a dollar amount talked about, so I would have
I
no.
think they were just gonna start looking at it, I'm not sure they had.
Yeah.
They wanted to know that the council would support them on looking, and we gave them that assurance.
It's gonna be in the many thousands. It'll be 50,000. Cameras and monitors.
We never did get a number.
And it's not included anywhere.
So that one was part of my cuts. I cut that out of there at the very, very, very bottom in the totals because she was able to do that this year.
Or not an additional, I'm sorry. She had money in her budget this year, so I suggested a couple of months ago, let's transfer that while you have the money, because we knew we were gonna get into a money crunch.
So I show it up there where you're looking now because it was actually requested. And then at that last page, I show the minus 3,500 because they were able to do it.
Here's another quick question. Our overall percentage goal. This is a really helpful thing to see all the maturing investments for next year. Is that one for general counted in?
I already have all the investments are already counted in my numbers with the cash reserve, yeah.
And this history sheet's really good too. Because that lets us know, even though we plan for a target percentage,
Yeah.
we typically end significantly more than that with the actual cash balance at the end of the year because of unspent dollars.
And did everybody understand this?
I mean, this is really super important sheet for everybody to understand. Yeah. We can go there later. We don't need to jump to that, but.
The other
Okay.
thing in the clerk's
6:15,
Yes.
and we're going to recess this part of the meeting here. We're going to go to the public hearing regarding the budget work session. So do we have anybody at this time that would like to speak to the council? Would state your name, please, address, and you have 5 minutes.
I don't believe that your mic is on. Press that little middle. Okay, you said Jason what?
Jason Winnick.
Yeah, there we
You hear that now?
How do you spell your last name?
Winik. And I'm from 353 North Clark Street in Chicago, Illinois. County councilors, thank you for having me here today. I'm one of the development managers with the Sculpin Solar Project here in DeKalb County, and I'm here to share details of the project as they relate to your budget conversation. So some background about RWE. We've been developing, owning, and operating projects globally for over 125 years, and that's all, technologies, both renewable and, conventional. And so in the United States, we're the third largest developer, owner, and operator of renewables. And so we have 50 plus solar projects here in the US, and that includes 13 projects in Indiana, including under development, construction, and operations. And so, yeah, just wanted to talk about Sculpin briefly here today. So we've been active in the county since 2019. It's a 180 megawatt project, which means that it can power up to 30,000 homes when built. So it's around 1,800 acres leased. A lot less of that will be actually used for panels if built. So we have 7 landowner groups that are part of the project that chose to sign on to that because they decided that's what's best for their land and their families. And so I know for them, they care a lot about the agricultural heritage, and signing on with us voluntarily helps keep that land in their family and preserve that heritage and prevent them from needing to sell it to, for other purposes of development that permanently take it out of production. So more relevant for today, getting into some of the project benefits. So in addition to landowner payments, a project like this is a $200 million investment in infrastructure in the county that's added to the tax base. There will be 300 construction jobs during construction, which is around an 18-month period. And so those are skilled jobs like electricians and installers that will be here and spending money in the county. And then RWE will add about five permanent jobs for people that will be living here in the county. And so, a project like this, the more renewables that are on the grid, that will lower electricity costs. There is a system-wide impact of having, low cost to produce electricity like solar on the grid. So understand that there's major impacts to the property tax structure as a result of SB1 in the coming years. And so as you think about future income of the county, we want to flag that Sculpin could bring in millions and millions of dollars in tax revenue for the county. And so we're open to revisiting, a county favorable tax structure for the project and potentially reopen the economic development agreement to provide more tax revenue certainty for the county. And so we just ask to be part of your community and have a conversation about that, when that time is right. Solar's a quiet neighbor, hidden by screening so that people barely have to look at it. And more relevant for today, it increases the tax revenue without increasing the tax base. So I think there's a potential large financial impact that I ask you all to think about. And thanks for your time and for having me here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Should I sign in here? Thank you.
Is there anybody else that wants to comment, have any comments here during the public hearing? Is there anybody else that has any comments during the public hearing? Last time, is there anybody else that has any comments to make here at the public hearing? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and we will go back into session here with our meeting. Rick?
How about a 5-minute break?
Yes.
5-minute break sounds like a capital idea.
I second that.
Already took 2 of them.
one of those things that, you know.
Okay, we're back on. Do you want me to go over this sheet?
Yeah, let's get back
Where'd
in
Rick go?
session here.
Where'd that Rick go?
So, we're back in session.
What, do you want me to wait for Collins to come back so I don't have to do it multiple times? There he is.
We're at the clerk.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this sheet.
Yeah, wait a minute, I gotta find that one. I shuffled things
The
around.
blue arch on the top. A very good,
So this was some information that Amy Presser had wanted, and so I tried to put it together in somewhat of a form that would make sense. So we're gonna look at the line that says 2024. So for the budget year 2024 that you guys would have worked on in 2023, the target percent that we ended up with for county general was 34.3%. That was what we were hoping that we would end 12/31/24 at after the 24 budget was done. If you go to the blue columns,
to the right, way to the right.
the actual, after all the spending was done, before taking into encumbrances and any money that moved to rainy day, we ended at 62.25%. But when you go to 2025, in the middle columns, so the 62.25 is 12/31/24. Then the 54.27 is the 1/1/25. The reason those are not the same is because encumbrances come from the prior year into the new year, and we also move money from county general to rainy day. So taking those into account then means that we started 1/1/25 with the 54.27.
Susan, does some of that money carry over to what's residual in the budget at the end of the year? Is it affected by the fact that we budgeted, and I'm going to use employees, we budget for a certain number of employees, so we're taking that into account when we set the rates and everything. But if the position's not filled, or if the position is paid by a grant that's already been budgeted, all of that would greatly affect.
Correct. So any appropriations, so anything that you guys approved for, say, the 2024 budget that was not spent is why it's any account in the budget.
Postage, it could be anything.
It could be
It's general.
employees, it could be supplies, it could be
Anything general.
services, anything in general that is not spent at 12/31/24 is going to affect that. And the big one of the bigger ones is probation, because of the timing of their grants. Many times they have to request the full wages in county general because the state doesn't tell them what they're approving until way after we're advertising and getting things ready to go. Like for this year, they just got their information back, and just if I can find it, we're able to cut almost $280,000 from the general fund because that amount of money was approved in grants to pay wages.
If you look back at some of the previous years that we have, and two of the most expensive departments, just because of the number of employees and the wage, we had a number of positions that went unfilled in the sheriff's department for a number of years. We also had a number of positions within central communications. They're now at full staff, so we're hopefully not gonna run into that. And the sheriff has got his staff up to where it should be. But all of those positions not being filled would cause that to go up. One of the issues, and we'll get to this later, I asked Jeff Peters, of these funds, what are there ones that we can reduce? Take a look at it. What can we reduce? And his answer was the reassessment fund. It has, I think, more than $2 million in it, and we keep adding back into it through a tax rate. We unfortunately missed zeroing out that tax rate for this year.
For 25.
But we need to look at zeroing out that.
It's already advertised at 0%.
At 0?
Yes.
And so that will make that reassessment fund go down, which to a more appropriate level.
But it will be at least 5 years before they will go through that money with the amount of money that they spend. So that rate then will help us in the general fund.
Does this have anything, the blue numbers versus the green numbers have anything to do with community corrections and/or the other, I'm drawing a blank, I'm sorry.
It only has to do with county general money.
Okay.
If we pay.
I didn't know if that was manipulated by looking at their schedule because they're
The only part of community corrections that would be in there is anything that county general
That we
funded.
We pay.
Okay.
Okay. And we plan to pay, we don't, or an additional that we might have approved during the year,
Right.
out of general.
And I took into account all additionals and transfers on the big color sheets.
Bill and Rick would remember back in 14, when we were, 14, 15, it would be awesome if we knew what those numbers were. We weren't able, she wasn't the auditor, and nobody was tracking that, I don't think. But we were trying to get to zero. Like, we were in negative every year at budget time, this time of the year, and say, how do we get to zero so we don't budget a negative budget? And then we only had like 8% that first year in 14. I mean, it was rough.
We struggled with that.
Just getting to
But it
break
was
even.
also bringing on Jeff Peters to help advise us.
Yeah.
It was also doing the WIS studies so we could standardize wages and have some type of objective pay rates, not subjective, which is what they most frequently were. So we've made a lot of strides over the years. And there is, I don't want to call it give back or giveaway, but there is some give back because we have put ourselves on positive footing.
I just don't want to ever dig ourselves in a hole.
Absolutely not. That's why we have to be very vigilant about that.
And even though we had a very large, the last couple of years, surplus at the end of the year, with everything that's unknown, I don't think we should be crazy.
And we also have a lot of that money invested. The treasurer and I have worked together. I can't tell you how many hours we've worked together, and we have a lot of it invested because of the unknown and trying to get as much interest back, or not just county general, but for the highway fund, for different funds.
Every fund, yeah.
Which that also will affect the interest that we're receiving in county general right now, because prior, all the interest was set to go back into county general. Right.
So now
And
the
so
interest goes
some
into
of
the
them-
fund where it's invested from.
Depending on what it is. Some funds we can't put interest back into. Some funds you don't want to put interest back into, like we have the lit PTRC, like Fund 6203. You don't want to put interest back in there because it's just going to sit there and it doesn't do
So
anything.
those interested.
So those will go to general.
There are some very expensive projects looming out there that need to be addressed, and we need to save the money to be fiscally responsible for that project, because we could hurt the county in the long run. If we run ourselves too far in debt, we lose our bond ratings,
bond ratings.
And I'm one for being overly cautious. I am not one that likes to speculate in large. The more cautious you can be, the better.
And unfortunately, we just don't know, oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Just to clarify, so in '24, our goal amount then in dollars was basically $8 million. And and then.
When you did the budget in 2023, for '24.
Right.
Okay.
And then it ended not in the blue necessarily, but down here in the green for '25, where it says basically $14 million ahead. Is that correct? Am I understanding that part right?
Yeah, after the encumbrances and stuff, yeah.
We wanted to save 8 million, and we saved 14 million.
Correct.
Okay. And some of those, what I'm understanding, a lot of that funding then is going into investments, right? Putting those in investments.
Yeah, a lot is going in, and then,
right.
Then each year, when you guys choose, like, the budgets and the wages,
Yep.
if it's more than we're getting, then we are using up some of that cash balance.
Because we got about, what was it, 42 million, I think, invested at this point. Was that the number I think I read?
Yeah, I got it.
It's about 28.
Yeah.
Yes, 28 million invested.
Yeah.
And then the interest coming off those, I think the last 6 was what'd you say, Joni? Was it right around 400,000, not the last? Yeah. 400, yeah. And so those go back into county general, and are those funds then that I would like to look at of, hey, where can we put those? We just said that we needed roads, and everybody was, hey, we really need a wheel tax to improve the roads. Well, what about those funds? Are those some funds then that we could turn around and use for the roads? I think that's something that we really should think about.
So currently, they are going into county general. We are changing some of that, so not all of that will be going back into county general anymore. So the interest won't be as high. So the interest earned also would be why those percentages are up more, because we don't know that when we're planning the budget.
I think
I would be very hesitant on anything for roads, highway, for 2026, because we do not have any clue what is going to happen with the lit. We know it's going away. We don't know if we're getting the same. We don't know if we're only getting a percentage.
Right.
And that will mean that everything the commissioners pay out of their lighted fund, which is a huge highway bond payment.
Okay.
The central communications, that's paid from lit, plus we pay sheriff pension from lit.
Yeah.
There's big expenditures that are all gonna have to be funded out of county general.
Sure.
So I would not advise touching any of that interest until we actually know what is coming down from the state.
Yeah, yeah. But once we do, maybe that's something that we could look into, because then we'd have a better idea. It's just hard for me to, after we've went through and raised a wheel tax on our citizens, and then look at, hey, well, we just got like $500,000 back in interest, and hey, maybe those are some funds that we could look at improving our roads down the way.
The other thing that you also have to remember is the community corrections correctional lit tax rate will also be something that's going away. That was the plan because we collect extra. All that extra was be putting back and setting aside for the jail. So with that going away, one, we don't know if we get to keep any of it to continue making those bond payments for community corrections. But that tax rate it'll be gone. We won't be getting money there. So some of this other investment stuff may need to be utilized when we get ready for a jail, because that's going to be a very, very huge project.
Sure, sure.
There is another 50 million that the state set aside for any county under 50,000 for their highways. We're going to have access to another $50 million pot for any county that's under 50,000 in population, or to ask for
For the roads.
Yeah, for the road.
Yeah. Good to know.
I'm not against helping with the roads. I'm just being realistic that there's so many unknowns, and with the jail coming and the current bond payments that we have to make and the unknowns with the state, as auditor, I would not advise that.
On Tuesday, Ben was talking to the commissioners about the study that's needed for County Road 60. I think that total amount was about $250,000, and the commissioners agreed to pay for the initial expenses from that for this year, but also told Ben to come to the council for the rest of it. Now, that I don't know that I would object to having that come out of county general, or at least a portion of it, but.
That is what they were attempting to do, I guess, when Ben came for his budget presentation. But then nothing else came back to me. I mean, you guys, I tried to explain.
He thought it was gonna be in the budget, and it wasn't.
Yeah, and I tried to explain to them that the council does not really have anything to approve unless we have an additional appropriation asking you to pay for this XYZ. And nothing ever really came back to me. If it was if I was supposed to do an additional appropriation for it, I totally screwed that one up, but I didn't get that from the presentation either, and it wasn't put in for the 2026 budget. But commissioners do have some money in their lighted fund that they can use for it.
And the other thing we're gonna have to worry about, and I got your notice today about my own assessment at home, that nice letter that you sent out. With the new structure, with SB1, right now, I believe the majority of the people that actually hit the tax cap are in Grant Township and Waterloo. That has historically been the case. I think that people hitting the tax caps, yeah, you.
That's me.
People that hit the tax caps it's gonna be prevalent across the county. And so that's money that it's just not there. You just you don't get it. You can't collect it from anybody else, and so.
I just don't want to.
And that just removes that amount from their budgets.
I just don't want to take it off the table, and I feel like it's been taken off the table before we even know the future of what could be, what's going to happen. To Susan's point, we don't know what's coming down the pike. So that's right, we don't, and it may be a lot better than what we expect. And so,
right, I'm not taking it off the table.
Let's not take it off the table.
I didn't want you to think that we could do something this year, because I really would not be comfortable.
It's just hard to explain to taxpayers when we're sitting on $28 million in invested CDs, and then why do we have to pay another $7.50 on a wheel tax?
I understand.
We've gotten some pretty great interest the last couple of years, and of all the crap that came out of COVID, that's probably one of the good things that came out for us, is that we've got some pretty nice interest rates.
Right.
Unfortunately, I think those 5%ers are probably going to be the first ones to expire, and
Well, they're gone.
They're
way gone.
5.20, is that one already, at the end of this year is expiring, then we've got a couple of other ones, but now you're lucky to get 3%. I mean, it was great if you jumped in and got a long-term investment for 5 or 5.5, but we're at that point now where.
That's one of the reasons that we had so much money in that general fund too.
Yeah.
A number of years, Sandy was able, when the interest rates were just humongous, was able to get a phenomenal amount of interest for us.
Yeah.
And that went away fairly quickly.
Yeah, I applaud the treasurer's office for doing that, because I don't know that any of us could figure that out, and the fact that we have that kind of money in there to deal with all of these unknowns is going to make us look a lot better and help fund a lot of projects in the county that we might not have been able to do otherwise. So thank you. Thank you for keeping us all on track.
And if you guys would have any questions about that, I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you ask Joni, and she will set up a time to talk to you. I had a short meeting and listened to it the other day, and it was very informative. There were things that I thought that I understood about it, and I didn't. So if you have time and you don't understand something, I implore you to reach out to Joni, because she'd be more than happy to help.
She did a great job explaining it to me, so appreciate that.
And just to also clarify, because I know there's some confusion, Joni works with the banks, with the investments, with the interest rates. She has nothing to do with the funds whatsoever. I work in the funds. That is why we don't have to talk, but we do talk because I generally know if there's something that, a project or something that's going to be coming down the line. So I am able to let her know if we do have any extra money in a fund that she can lock up for
Or how long? we
however
want,
long.
you know.
Yeah.
We-
So depending
that
on your
we-
questions will depend on who you need.
I think it's great that we have a relationship with so many of the local banks. I guess I didn't realize how many different banks we utilize. I mean, I think that's great, because ultimately that's helping them do things for our community as well.
Yep.
Are we ready to go back to the clerk's office?
Not really, but yeah.
You know, the one thing that really stands out here is the fact that elections are gonna go up dramatically. But you remember that we don't have elections every year, so that runs in a cycle. She's going to have, you know, last year, this year, not much. Next year, she's gonna have big expenses. And the following year, she's gonna have expenses from city and town elections. And then another general election, and then another lull. So 4 years out of 5, I guess, is what that goes up.
Her regular budget is not the elections. Went down a lot, but that's because of,
Well, remember she told us that she
didn't
did
replace
not
somebody.
fill two positions.
Didn't replace them.
And then a lot of stuff's going into Odyssey now, and it's online, and so that should have.
Civil
saved a
deputy
lot.
not being replaced.
Commissioners.
Rick, is there a statute that sets the fee to pay poll clerks and election inspectors that you can't go over? I know we have a hard time getting those people to work now because it's such a long day.
There are some restrictions on it, but,
I mean, I see we got 120 and 145. I just know that we have a really tough
and we
time
don't,
getting
and we
those
don't
people.
have, you know, now that we're using vote centers, we don't have to have as many as we did before. Yeah, we struggle. Actually, I hate to say it, but the Democrats struggle, and they occasionally have to ask permission to use Republicans as to fill in the Democrat spots. And now, there is state law that the courthouse will be closed for Election Day. And so any county employee that would have worked that day can now work the polls.
I think the clerk's office looks pretty good, especially the fact that she cut that main budget before the elections budget by not replacing people, and then the elections budget is what it is. You gotta pay for elections.
Well, you know, again, some of our biggest expense are the employees. And that's another reason that we want to treat the employees very well. We have excellent employees, and we need to keep those that have proven themselves best we can.
Commissioner's budget, if we move on to that.
Susan, oh, there it is. I was gonna say, did that,
Insurance and the perf, and that those go up. Wow. Social Security. So,
Sorry, my mic wasn't on. Shenandoah and Horse Rescue, that's a new contract we're entering into for
Yes.
26?
Because of the animal officer that we have. So that she has resources to be able to take animals to.
and the humane shelter did go down.
Correct.
And I see that they only took up the Northeast Center by the actual 4%, so,
Which one?
Northeast Center.
That was because I actually had the actual DLGF number that they tell us at that time. Sometimes I don't have it in time to be able to do that.
Well, just,
So,
it's
one of the reasons why the perf insurance and social security went up so much is this note, says includes DCC, is that Department of Community Corrections? For
Yeah.
26, so they're including it, all of those things here, as opposed to having those paid out of grant or something before, or?
We've paid for their insurance for a while, except for like 64,000 something that they
Okay.
reimbursed the county for.
Because of the amount of money that the state has been cutting back community corrections, we've taken on over the course of the last several years more and more. And quite honestly, it's fair. That community corrections being there and operating at the level that it is keeping those people out of the jail.
Right.
And in the jail, they would cost us more, we'd be responsible for their medical. I think you know, the thought that it was always going to be paid for by the state was a pipe dream. I think as time goes on, it's gonna become more and more the county's responsibility, and quite honestly, it is the county's responsibility. These are our people, our county,
If we,
are responsible for
we've
it.
always been paying it, I just wonder why there's a note there like it's the first time ever.
We've paid it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
We agreed.
It says it includes zero for social security not requested, so we're not paying their social security? Okay.
They try to put as much as they can in theirs with all their other things they have to pay.
And thankfully, our Northeast Center, our mental health CMHC didn't fall into that category, but the state found out that they were paying the top executives of some of the community mental health centers excessive amounts. And the legislature allowed the counties involved to not pay their portion. Hopefully that they would bring those salaries down. Ours was not one that was getting paid that high.
I'm not suggesting that we change this at all, but the liability insurance is staying the same, and it's about $1 million. If we are able to find all the residents at Sunny Meadows a better place to live and a better lifestyle to be cared for, I mean, is there a significant savings in liability if that's not operating but half of the year? I'm just wondering.
Well,
I can tell you in 1 second.
I wouldn't change it because we
Well,
have no guarantee that we're going to get it done by
that
May.
number doesn't show up in the Sunny Meadows line
Liability
items. It's in the commissioner's budget.
Correct.
So that's something, and their health insurance, the employees' health insurance and all that will
But I would not
reduce
take
this.
any of that out of here because
Not yet.
if we aren't able to relocate everybody to a better place to live by May, it won't happen.
Which we had an update yesterday. I think that we, as of next week, we'll be down to, what did he say? 8 or 9? After next
12.
week. I thought there was 3 or 4 getting ready to move out. Anyway, it's at 11 or 12 right now, but I thought that Kellen said yesterday there were 3 or 4 that were getting ready in the process to move out, so they are making considerable advances.
I mean, it was just an update for everybody. It was quite the process once we got a consultant involved to figure out where everybody should have been, what everybody, I mean, people weren't collecting they weren't getting the benefits they should have gotten because nobody's helped them sign up for some things or qualify to get waivers or whatever. So for some of those folks, it's been a whole process of starting from square one. You have this disability, you should have had this waiver, then you can collect this, then you can do this, and then you can move to here. And it's been one by one doing that with almost everybody. There's very few that had everything right.
Well, and
so
that's why previous commissioners brought in an occupational therapist to evaluate the client.
Yep.
Because they were supposed to be able to do activities of daily living on their own, and if they weren't, they should never have been admitted out there.
But their paperwork to get all the benefits that they could have been getting were not done. I mean, nobody was doing that for them. Nobody was helping them. So it's taking a lot to catch them up and get them qualified and then get those benefits coming so where we can get them moved to a better place.
Yeah. Anything else on commissioners? Are we ready to move on?
Ready to move on.
So, and the next one is community corrections, and,
Just skip that for a minute till I get you the rest of it.
okay,
Actually, here.
Coroner?
It's all right here.
we're going back to something else?
That's the rest of the community correction.
She's fixed the
Oh.
community.
Well, is this one that was here before just what's in county general?
The one, yes.
From before?
That's just the county general one, yeah.
Because is just interested in the bottom line. The bottom line number is, we are putting in maybe $38,000 total from the general fund.
Second page it changed. Page 9.
You're good, thank you.
Changing it, yeah, change it.
And
That's for the
backside that.
community corrections, which is here.
So that's what you have is their county general. or
Yeah.
this is
We can just, real quick,
Gotcha.
get back to that,
Gotcha. No,
Commissioners,
no.
on the Sculpin
Thank you.
EDF consultant fee. They're paying, Sculpin is paid 100,000, could go up to 150,000. And then we have a line of 29,000 that we pay out to a separate consultant to advise our commissioners. Is that what that's for? On the planning commission?
I don't remember what they did
project.
there.
But we're getting paid by Sculpin to do that, it looks like. Is that anybody?
Wait, what was your question?
So, in the on the commissioners, there's a Sculpin EDF consultant fee.
That's because they had a economic something agreement, and they had to pay us X amount of dollars, so they paid what?
100,000.
Yeah, 100,000, and it could go up to 150,000. And that was money that was used for us to pay a consultant to help us with
A third-party consultant.
decisions and things like that.
At the attorney they hired?
Yeah, I believe so.
That wrote all the road use agreements and the the economic development agreement.
The economic development, possibly, but they also gave the commissioners guidance on different things to do. But, so, then I would pay claims from that $100,000. So there's $29,000 left that if, I would have to look, after so many years, if the project is dead in the water, then I would have to pay that back to them. But it's not ready to be paid back yet because it's not finished.
So that's basically keeps the county from spending any money on researching the project and figuring it out because they're paying us
If it's-
upfront to get that.
If it's the person the group I'm thinking of, that group was hired by a number of counties to develop those contracts and agreements and whatnot, so.
Oh, that's good.
And it wasn't Baker Tilly, and I can't remember who it was.
I'm looking. We paid Baker Tilly some, we've paid Barnes and Thornburg.
I think the guy I'm thinking of was with Barnes and Thornburg.
Is community corrections just what we pay out of general here? It's not their whole budget, right?
She just gave you the rest of it.
But the rest of it, we don't really have a whole lot. That's all grant funded there.
Right.
This is what we really have to pay attention to. I'm just one step behind you, Jody. One step behind you.
Doing good, Bob, you're doing good. No candy or food and you're still upright.
Yeah. You want some licorice? Bill does.
Not next to you, it bother you.
We could have ordered pizza too for this.
They talked about it.
Would have been good. The full budget that you gave us, the full budget you gave us is their project income and their grants and everything. So this other one that we had is just what we're putting in.
Correct, but I gave you both so that you could see what kind of increases they were able to do.
And there's a couple of lines that they appear to have gone down on the first page, 15%, on the second page, 67%, but a lot of that is due to an overtime rule, and then it says there's an amount in there if it's mandated. So is there a chance that we're gonna be mandated to pay that? And those would go back up and be,
You're looking at this page,
That's with
Community
that
corrections.
salary rule.
that's changed Academy, the second page, ain't it?
Well, and don't forget, some of these people are qualified as probation officers, and that salary is set by the state
right, but there's,
based on their years of service and based on their degrees that they have.
oh, so this, what it is they had money in there for the overtime rule that didn't get passed. They had people getting paid under that
Correct.
amount, and then that DOC didn't go through, or DOE
Correct.
didn't go through. So we don't have to pay that, and I don't think that's being revived anytime soon. Would you say that, Amy? It's HR. It doesn't look like that.
I haven't heard much about it lately, but I know that I met with Michelle, maybe Michael, I can't remember, to talk about it and to look at who fell in that, if we needed
Yeah.
that money, where we were gonna get it from.
But it's died in pretty
I
much.
haven't heard anything about it lately.
Dead for a couple of years with the current president, probably.
Our budget from DOC was cut. We had literally 3 versions, and then we got cut again, so we had to go back and,
That's, yeah.
after we had submitted it. But
Are they gonna be able to continue to operate okay, or?
I'm over it.
I mean, luckily we have people like Michelle and
But the wages, they apply for the grant.
I think one thing we're gonna see is testing supplies.
So, what,
I'm sorry, drug screens, because Michael's fought off increases for those 2 years, but I think it's gonna come time and they're gonna
so
go.
going back to that commissioner's budget, is that the one thing she mentioned that maybe we could consider paying their social security, and they didn't? They're not paying social security
This number's,
in their budget?
Yes, and honestly, I can't remember where it ended up, the final version. I'll have to look. Because we set a budget and then we did a preliminary if we were cut a certain portion.
I remember Michelle, when she presented for community corrections, talked about the possibility of commissioners or us considering paying
Take out,
something
did you
extra
take
to
the
help
old
with their
ones?
budget, because they were getting
Okay,
cut so
get 'em
much.
mixed
Was
up.
it their social security, their,
It might have been, because they didn't,
and so that's why that's on the commissioner's line, but then it says paid zero, we're paying zero, but then that line went up by quite a
let me
bit.
look.
No, one of the versions, we
COVID A.
did increases in pay.
I remember her asking us to consider something.
Yes.
No, it's ours. The only thing that they have that state would be the probation officers.
So they go off ours and to write their grants.
They do, but they don't, they're not always able to give
They just need to be.
the same amounts, yeah.
General dispatch.
See, this says,
Okay.
So for Social Security, we don't have to fund any of it. They needed us to fund PERF, which is,
133,000, we did.
yeah, and let me
That's
look at
here.
last year.
And we must be doing it, and we're doing insurance for this year.
We did insurance for last year.
We're not doing anything for social security.
No, and I don't think we have. Let me look a minute.
She asked for something else. Remember, we talked about it.
I have it in my notes at home, I don't have it here.
Rick, did you and I have a discussion
Yeah,
about
you and I
that?
were there. I don't remember.
Was that before her budget was, like, came back cut, or was it after?
I think it was before. She had an inkling of what was going to happen, but she wasn't sure.
We
if I
literally did
remember
like
it.
4 budgets and, or 3, and then we had to do another one. I can't look at my email. I told her to send it to me with some different scenarios.
So they did no raises and 9% state grant reduction is what the final ended up, with the grant, final approval. You can turn that down. I was just getting it, well, they all put their coats on.
I'll bring your earmuffs tomorrow.
Don't worry, in 30 minutes, I'll probably have mine off.
At Bob Kraft's age, he's getting a little fragile.
He's radiating heat.
That's why I said. Oh, let me say that.
All right, Jody, it's recorded now.
Right.
Are we moving on to coroner? Yep. Rick, she had to come in for an additional this year. Do you remember what it is, and do we have enough in there for next year? She had body bags or something. She was like, supplies, something was way over.
Well,
Was it
I
death?
saw her yesterday, and I think she said that they'd already had 90-plus cases. And they had 100 and some last year, and they're already at 90.
And I don't see anything that she's
Orders.
raised from last year, 25 to 26.
The only thing that she raised was the
Deputy coroner.
deputy coroners.
Oh, that was to cover their runs, all those
Yeah.
guys
Right.
run.
Like she said, she has no idea if it's gonna go up or down
Right.
year to year. Consistently, she looked at that
She
the
took
last couple
office,
of
she had a
years.
surplus of body bags because
Yeah, maybe she,
from the COVID era, I think they had a pretty good chunk.
is yeah, it didn't change. It was the deputy coroners that she had to
Yeah.
have a lot more, and they get paid per run, so you don't really know what that is.
Right.
Just has to, she raised that 4,000, which seems about like what she asked for additional last time.
That's what she's projecting based on what she's experienced in the upturn in 2025.
That all looks pretty good, really.
I think, council member, on the next one, county council member number 5 needs to cut there a little bit.
You Bill.
Let's split his amongst the rest of us.
Where's he at?
Susan, what are the ones in here new for the Economic Development Commission? What's that?
That's been in there for 2 or 3 years.
We never spent it. What
You never
did we
spent
put it
it.
in there for? Do you remember?
Because the Economic Development Commission had reformed.
Oh,
And
yeah.
in case they had needed something like that, I just didn't put them in their separate little location because it's probably not gonna last long.
and the difference in allow timekeeping is allow is cheaper than the other one that we had?
It is,
Went from 90, oh no, you're asking
Went
for
up.
90, it's going up, not going down, it's going up.
but then at the bottom, you'll see I was able to take away I don't know, 60,000. Because that was a guess. We had no idea when we were planning that. It is cheaper. It is more user-friendly with our LAO system and with the third company people that they use. They set up to work together, so we won't have as many problems. We still have issues with the Right Stuff and Community Corrections, and they've had it the longest.
And right now, we have, our payroll deputy spends an enormous amount of time manually doing things by hand, so that program.
Does it do everything
Yep.
that the other one was supposed to do?
Yes, I made sure of that because I know that Central Communications really likes the current one, and they do a lot of different aspects of it, and I made sure that it could do everything, because I'm not gonna pay and run 2 different
No,
timekeeping systems.
it all has to be the same.
So where does that show that you said it went down? Is that a different sheet?
On your very last page where it shows the cuts,
Oh, in the cut system. Okay.
this page.
So the 90 was a guess, and then you're able to
The
get,
90 was an estimate just because we had no clue, and that's what we estimated for this year also. Or I did 75 this year, and then,
so really,
guess.
council budget went down, not up.
yeah, because also, we were able to pay for some of the LAO timekeeping this year out of the $75,000. I just submitted an invoice to pay for like 45,000. And then with the actual final quote of what it will be yearly and whatnot, then I was able to reduce.
Courthouse stayed pretty much the same, except for a couple supply lines.
Okay, Michelle Fosnaw just messaged me. She said the additional request was to move the software IT costs back to the IT department as it had been in prior years.
Where's that at?
Well, and she had just been told it was being transferred to her budget kind of last minute, so we had to make room for that, 20, 23 or 20?
Looks like software maintenance is 30,504.
Were you able to,
Maybe for 24,
That was project income
25.
part.
you probably weren't able to get that into the grant?
But we didn't know why it was, I don't know that she got a reasoning why it was being transferred to her when they never had to pay that before. But I think maybe she'd spoken to IT about it,
I don't see it in here.
and because it
It's in
was
project income.
certain to them, that's why it was being transferred. I don't have that, I can't find that paper in my notes. I have it, but I'll have to look for it. It's not in my email.
Oh, it's over in this other sheet that you gave me? Not in there. It's not in their general.
Correct, it's in
It's in
project
their
income.
sheet, so that we could move it. If we wanted to help them, we could take it out of here and put it in general.
Well, you can't just put it into IT general
IT,
now.
that's what,
You can't just put it in there now because I've advertised.
When I think,
So-
the question from Community Corrections is why was it moved from IT to them? They were just given an invoice and there wasn't an explanation. And obviously, that wasn't something that was in their budget because they'd never paid it before.
I guess I don't know because I didn't know anything about it. So let me see what I can find out.
Amy, I did find,
It wasn't like current, it was last year. That's why we had to build it in there for last year.
But I still don't know anything about it,
do other
that it was
departments,
given.
I did find an email that got you and I to go out and meet with her.
Yes,
And it was JRAC grant awards for '26. Community Corrections received a 9% cut, loss of $112,540. In grant funds, the average loss for programs was 11%, so I'm thankful that I could have been worse. It also appears that JRAC made the decision to cut all jail treatment, prosecutors diversion, AD, and pretrial programs from the funding, which is what was all that was all cut. Their pretrial program is not affected because I have consistently written our staff into the community supervision portion of the grant instead of separating them into a pretrial category. She wanted to work on an alternative budget, which is when she had you and I go out and meet with her.
right, and we'd put together a sheet, or I should say Shannon put together a sheet with some different scenarios. So the additional request, she just emailed me, was moving software IT costs back to the IT department because it had been there in prior years and they had never paid for their own software out of the grant.
It looks like it happened in 2021, so I'm not sure.
In 21?
I see some software claims paid.
But was it paid out of the grant or was it paid out of the IT department or another department?
It was paid by Community Corrections. I'd have to look to see which fund it was.
From their program fees?
I gotta get back.
So I wonder if it was not, how do I want to say, registered, how they thought it should be? Because there wasn't anything in the budget where it had specifically said software, and/or she hadn't had a invoice.
Well, there was
But maybe it was,
some paid in 2022 out of their grant fund, software maintenance. There was some paid in '24 out of their grant fund. No, I'm sorry, those are out of project income. Some in '25, there was,
okay.
is that something we're doing across the board where we're having different departments pay part of their software maintenance or, I mean, you don't out of your department?
That would probably be.
I do some. I mean, a lot of it's IT, but I do some because I have other funds that I'm able to do things with. And maybe IT, maybe they wanted it done that way so that if it wasn't IT and if it was prior to me, I am imagining it was so that at a drop of a hat, we could look and see, okay, this department costs this amount of money.
Sure.
Well, and in the past, if we could get grant money for it, we would be silly not to put it in there to ask for grant money to pay it for it. All right, what's the next one after the coroner? Let's keep moving.
Courthouse
Council.
next?
Courthouse. Did we already do courthouse?
No.
He kept his exactly the same.
But I've got a question on this. You know, for gas, natural gas, 56,200 for last year and 26. Excuse me, if NIPSCO is right on that proposed 17% increase, that's almost another $9,500.
Yeah.
And we may need to look at that at some other departments there because they're pretty adamant that it's gonna go up. And they're talking 17% across the board, so just a caveat there.
Have we can look at our report today and see if we've spent that all every year. Last year we had 56,200. Do we know if we spent that much last year?
Just a second, I can tell
Are
you.
we
Last
already
year or
over?
this year?
This year, well, last year, this year we wouldn't have the whole year. It was the same.
For Larry, I know they're revising his job description so that he now will supervise all of our maintenance people and maintenance in the different buildings.
He already has that.
But,
That's his current
is it-
job description.
but is this the amount? Because that has to move him up.
Yeah, we moved him into that.
74,
Yeah,
that already moved him up. He already has that.
yeah, that went through the,
They're wanting to redo it because they want him to, like, be the go-to for what every department wants done and allow him to go ahead and do upgrades and updates up to a certain amount of dollars, and then otherwise he will come to the commissioners and say, Susan wants to do blah, 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 and it's gonna cost this amount of money. So they want that part added into his current job
They're meeting
description.
tomorrow on that. So, that's what I thought, but
But I won't have any idea. What is in there now is what his current job description says he should have. So as for gas and electric for 2024, we had about 32,000 left in each account.
32,000 left.
Electric, in '24, we had budgeted $110,000 for electric, and we spent 78. We budgeted 52 for gas, and we spent just under 20.
we might be okay with the 56.2.
So as of today, we have spent, we budgeted 119,000 in electric, because I think we thought it was going up also. We've spent 49,500.
A little more than halfway in.
And then, gas, we budgeted 56,200 and we have spent 23,100. So we have 58, a little over 58% left in each electric and gas.
And less than that in months, we only got,
We might be okay then.
yeah. The commercial electric rate has sunk down over the last 2 years due to some of the changes, but I was assured that that will go back up, and after they redistribute the rate or something, reallocate the rate or something, it's gonna take a year. You probably know about that as a city resident.
actually, my electric rate has gone down and my gas rate has
Yeah.
gone down.
All the commercial
As a,
rate,
as a residential customer, but
and all the commercial rates have gone
commercial
down.
and industrial customers, you know, where that's going, I don't know, have any idea.
What's the difference between, I think I know, but just breaking down we have custodians, we have janitorial, we have maintenance, building repair and maintenance, all of that totaling probably $400,000. How does that break down then? What is the janitorial doing versus like our custodian and our maintenance folks? How does that break down?
What account are you talking about for janitorial?
So A1
Oh,
janitorial,
That's
184.
that's the company that, we pay to do all of the cleaning of all of the county buildings.
And,
Cleaning and everything else they
and
do.
Larry's salary says custodian when it ought to say facilities director or, you know, but it says custodian, which makes you think that all he does is clean and.
Is
Yeah.
that just an old term that was used?
That's just
previous.
that's his account he's always been paid from, and I didn't change it.
And
But
you
I
said
can change it.
the A1 janitorial is cleaning all the county buildings?
Yeah.
So you said, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, and they take
We'll have
care
to
of.
clean the courthouse.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
all county buildings.
Gotcha.
And they take care of,
How's your out?
bill, like, anything, like our soap, our toilet paper, I mean, like,
Okay.
anything.
Gotcha, got it, okay. That helped. Perfect. That's helpful, thank you.
Okay, so wait, then you asked about building repair maintenance.
Yeah,
So those are, any county building that needs a repair or maintenance
okay.
service done on them that we need to pay somebody to do. That's what that is. The, equipment would be if some equipment needed to be fixed.
Yep, that makes sense.
Okay. That's up to you guys.
I was gonna ask the council, how late do we wanna go tonight?
I don't
8
care.
o'clock.
8 o'clock?
Rolling.
You can leave it nicely, but
You
we
got a
don't drink
cow
it
out?
forward.
I'm
Yes.
good to go.
We have an officer for that, just call the sheriff. Call the sheriff, we've already approved his budget. No, that's tabled till tomorrow. Tomorrow you can call him and they'll go find that. After we approve it.
We'll take care of it.
How do you even know where to go look?
How do you get it back home? How do you get it to go back home?
You write it.
Cowie here, cowie there.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Oh, the cattle prod.
Well, that's not very nice. I've never done it. That's why I asked.
Do we have anything else here for the courthouse?
I just had a question. Who is the A1 janitorial? Who is that?
Who is it?
Yeah, who is it?
Like, who owns it?
Yeah.
Tara Lane? It would have been like, Clint's business that we've paid for God knows how many years.
They've been here 25, well, probably more than 30 years.
Yeah. And then when he retired, they sold it to, Kara.
Ready to move on?
Have we ever bid that?
Like, when it first came? I
Well,
have no
30 years
idea.
ago, we said 30 years ago. So in the last 30 years, did we ever bid out that janitorial service?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, they had a relationship with Clint, and that's the way it stayed.
Right.
Clint did this, and his brother did the city. So.
My question though
I know,
is,
I've talked to other people that have to hire outside cleaning people like that, and they have a lot of frustration with them. And I don't think that county's ever had any real frustration with Clint or A1.
so there's no requirement that we bid out those services at $184,000?
I thought that there was. I thought it was.
Not when you've already contracted. When you're already
Doing
with them,
something new,
you don't have to.
Building something, you have to.
I guess is there a lot of trust with him too, coming in? I mean, just being in the building when, I mean, do they clean at night?
Yep, they do.
They clean when offices are closed and
Is that here
around
and
maintenance
annex?
projects probably? I
It's
don't
all
know.
county buildings.
Oh, and the health department?
Central,
Oh,
corrections, it's all,
Yeah.
Is it all paid from this particular line, or, okay, so it's all the buildings from this line,
Highway,
and
do they
not
clean
spread
those
out?
offices?
that I have no idea. I'm not sure on that one. I know at the prior highway, they had paid, the highway paid one of the office ladies to do it, but I don't know about the new one.
Okay, we're ready to move on to the extension office. Okay, let's take a look at it.
And that contractual services there is set by Purdue, correct? That's the amount that they asked for.
Correct.
So the only other thing, they cut money out of their subscriptions, so.
She made us aware of that in the budget presentations, that Purdue was increasing their numbers. She has no control over that. They tell her what to do.
Like, is it asked, like, please do it, or is it a mandate? We need.
Yeah, so we do it. I mean, that's what that, your extension office, that's your land grant college that, you can't go to anywhere else and get that service.
I mean, the commissioners sign an agreement every year with the amount.
It just said that they had asked, so I didn't know, hey, we'd love it, but we could say no.
Oh,
Or is
I'm
it,
sorry.
we are getting
I see what you mean.
3% more? That's all. That's fine.
Very good.
Yeah.
Move on to Homeland Security. Like everything stayed the same.
Yep.
Any questions on Homeland Security? Okay, let's move on then to Human Resources. We have a decrease here.
We're seeing a decrease, correct?
Correct.
1,000 plus.
She just went through several of her stuff and reduced some of that and did that so that she could, she did purchase a little bit of extra furniture this year that was needed in their office. And so when she cut that out of her budget, she's like, I can cut that going forward as well. So, and she wanted to be a team player and make sure she was helping cut the budget.
And she also is utilizing herself old desk that came from a different department.
Correct.
Yeah, she just bought her deputy.
Her deputy
A new-
did need some additional read.
Any other questions regarding Human Resources? Okay, let's move on to Information Systems.
That top line there, is that just for one part-time person? Or part-time contractors?
I honestly have no idea.
Is Jack the only part-timer they've got right now?
Yeah.
And the telecommunications, that some of that came from the commissioner's budget, that they're the city dropped something and we had made us go to all new phones or something. What was that?
I can't totally remember. They had to do a big upgrade with all of the Cisco phones and whatever system it is. I couldn't talk intelligently about it even when I tried. And for some reason, for I don't know how many years, the commissioners paid $30,000 of telecommunications, but it's all paid from the general fund and it's all the same telecommunications. So I switched it from commissioner's budget to IT so that the bills can just be paid from IT and not have to be tried to be split and everything else.
Anybody else have any questions on IT? Rick, you look at deep thought. You got any questions? Nope. Was that a yep or a nope?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, let's move on then to the Plan Commission. Actually, it looks like a slight decrease. About
The one big increase you're gonna get there is, they're moving the 2 GIS analysts up to being equal.
they're moving a what?
They're moving the one GIS analyst, they're moving him up to being equal with the other one, because they both do the same job.
Okay.
On that top line, what is that breakdown to for each of the, for Meredith and for Chase for their hourly salaries?
It would be whatever those levels are. So Coma A for 25 is $23.49 an hour. And Pat A is $27.92 an hour. But if you give me a minute, I might be able to see if that's what they actually get paid.
Anybody else got any questions?
So Meredith was at the 23,
Sorry.
sorry.
I'm looking to see, I think they're
They're not the same?
at $20 an hour, because that's the pay up to amount, so let me look. Yeah, Jace is at 20 an hour.
Not the 27.
Right, that's the category high.
Gotcha.
And Meredith, is also at 20.
Is Jarrett, that the GIS, sorry, the analyst two, is that the one that's going
Going up, yes.
up? From,
And that job description was already done and approved. There has been some discussion on the code compliance position, increasing the hours and possibly going full-time, but it's not been totally decided yet.
so the building inspector and the code enforcement official are the same category? They're
Yes.
both Pat
They
A?
both,
What Wiss said it was.
doesn't that just seem odd? Does it seem odd?
Building
I
inspector.
don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it. I'm tired.
It doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't seem odd. They're both inspecting. I mean,
Yeah,
Jeff's inspecting
I
that.
guess maybe I don't know exactly what code enforcement it all encompasses. Or maybe I don't know what Jeff,
So building inspector would be going out to inspect that the building permits and whatnot that have been pulled and are being done, that they are meeting the requirements of the building.
Electrical, concrete, plumbing,
You have about
all of that stuff.
4 or
has-
5 of them on one building project.
doesn't he do it for like the whole county?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all but Auburn.
And I know he does it for Garrett.
All but Auburn.
Okay,
And the code compliance is currently on a complaint basis. When there's a complaint that comes in about a property in the county that is hideous and a bunch of trash and
And his
junk all
personal
over.
safety is at risk, because he could get shot at while he's doing his job.
Yeah, big time.
yeah.
I would think that would be a little more stressful, and he'd have to know the law, and he'd have to know the codes and all of that.
Did that go through WIS as well then? Did they both go through WIS?
Yes. And there's a whole process with that code enforcement, like initial pictures, sending out an initial letter, no response, second letter, all certified, multiple different things before it comes back to the commissioners to decide whether they want to file suit and all kinds of fun
I was
stuff.
thinking the building inspector more like electrical based and, you know, electrical box 2 point, you know, and verifying, but it's also after a contractor, so I understand, like, no.
Amy, anything else?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's move, we've got, we've got the BZA to look at, don't we, on this here?
It's just at the bottom, the only thing there is the meeting pay,
The what?
the pay for the meetings.
Okay.
That's the
And
only
that
thing.
actually is going down for next year? Okay,
Like, I believe it's because they had, I think this year we had an extra meeting we had to pay for from the prior year. So it was increased and now it's back down, so it's,
thank you. Probation,
I think we should stop there, Dave. That's gonna be, the probation's a longer one, unless you wanna jump down to something like the recorders that's
That's
rather
fine.
easy. And she's sitting in the back of the room anyway. From our standpoint, it is.
Yeah, we're gonna.
so which one you want to go to, Rick?
I was gonna say, you know, because prosecutor, public defender are all fairly lengthy, the sheriff is lengthy. The recorders is a fairly short one. And so is soil and water. I don't think we want to discuss Sunny Meadows until tomorrow.
No.
Okay,
Treasurer and VA and weights and measures would be
Veterans we could
go to
do.
soil and water,
recorder first.
recorder first.
Super short.
What were the salaries for the part-time?
What were the what?
The salaries for the part-time employees?
Actual pay?
Yeah, hourly pay.
Were you pay, the category? Yeah.
Any questions, any further questions on the recorder? Ready to move on?
I mean, just other than a comment that it's already got the 4% in there for the staff where we didn't have, nobody else has
It,
so far.
it does, but on the other part, I did
You
the,
didn't add that on top,
I did the 4% from the 25 amount.
So whatever we pick, it'll reflect that.
Yeah.
We're not approving this is the way it is right now.
Right.
Veteran service.
Let's go to soil and water.
Do we pay rent for the space that soil and water is in, or does their rent
think so.
get paid by the Fed side of the building? Or the
Paid by the
federal
Fed
side?
side, because that was part of our, is Joni back there? Did she leave? That was part of our meeting for the space study. That building out there is, we don't pay for the rent. The Fed side pays for that, so our only cost is the salaries.
So and the reason I ask is that's not anybody we would want to move anywhere. It's already been
And
taken
it's that
care of.
whole, I didn't realize that that whole building is essentially those Fed offices. I think it's because they share that, there's like a back office that is shared, and so that space is paid for. So the soil and water's kind of there when you walk in, the little corner. But the way the office is set up, because you access both, maybe that's how they,
Well, yeah, because I walked into the Fed side to talk to Tim Haynes when we were out there.
yeah, I never knew that, until we went out for the
Well, and
space
I'm
study.
sure they interact all the time.
And they share a bathroom with United Way. They share a bathroom with United Way.
Do they?
Any other questions on soil and water? Okay, let's move on. We've got time for one more. Let's look at weights and,
Just real quick, on the soil and water, so she has people's pay going down, pretty much everybody, 2%, 2%, 2%. You wanna,
She put, yeah.
She had like an approved a wage amount, but she wasn't necessarily paying him that maximum.
oh, we had that in the budget, but she wasn't paying them the full classification.
But I figured it off the full for the percentage increases because they still can pay up to that.
Yeah, it's there, you're just passing up to, and then
Yeah.
they,
Who's next?
what's that?
Veterans or
Let's go to weights and measurements.
which
Weights and measurements.
measures?
Actually has a slight decrease in operating supplies. and $50 reduction in petroleum products and supplies. That offsets the printing increase. Anybody got any questions on weights and measurements? Okay, we got time. What, veterans, Rick?
VA.
VA? Okay, let's do that one, then we're gonna recess.
I'm already recessed.
You got a cow out, do you?
I have a question about this one.
Sure.
We had the veteran service officer, we had an assistant, and we had an office person, and didn't they combine the two? The assistant and the office person? Did they make that one job?
Jody.
So, we have 3 employees listed here, not considering the part-time, but we got 3 employees, but we only have 2, right?
Correct.
So can one of those salaries be taken out?
I'm not sure why she requested it. They used to have three.
Yeah.
Right.
And she has said in the past that the commissioners recommended that she keep one of them in there in case they ever needed to hire someone. However, they just been a year or two and they've not needed that. So I don't see a reason not to take that out, but I can talk to Rhonda if we need to.
So the office administrator, the 11444, that is the one that's currently not being used. And part-time is not being used right now either.
Correct.
So really, the way this reads is it's for 4 salaries, right?
3 and part-time.
Well, yeah, right, okay.
Even if you wanted to leave the office administrator manager in there, just in case they might need it in the future, maybe cut it in half. I mean, if they're not gonna hire anybody before the end of the year, so.
Was that capped though, because we had I don't even know if I'm using the right word, co-department heads?
Yeah, we kind of, for a while there, we had,
But I thought
Came
if
back.
if that happened, then the other one went away. Or maybe it was just a discussion. I don't,
remember that came before our HR committee.
for some reason, I was
And they
thinking
ended up
like
saving
that
money
other
'cause
one.
They didn't, I think that's what it is, they saved money because by him coming back at his level, we didn't need these other positions, but those other positions were maybe saved in case, we didn't know how long he was gonna be there, or,
Well, he came and left fairly quickly at that point. And then they hired an assistant, a veterans officer, not a clerical person, but an assistant.
yeah.
And he left, and then I think, so that's when they combined the 2 jobs. So,
So,
I don't see that.
in May of '24, Rhonda sent an email that said, on my budget spreadsheet, so this would have been last year, of course, it reflects a part-time position due to council and commissioners asking that I leave that in place in case the future department expands. The same is true for the office administrator manager, that is to remain in place in case in the future I decide to hire a secretary or eliminate the other deputy position. However, according to my discussion with Amy Prosser, we had left the budget line items the way that we did because of the situation with the previous deputy, which is what I think you just said.
That was 24.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was 24.
So that line's probably not needed.
current staff
Probably.
is rather stable.
Yes.
The current one is amazing.
She's
Very
very good.
She's very good.
Yeah.
Rhonda really likes her.
Well, I wouldn't propose taking it all out and leave the category there in case you need it in the future, but at least maybe cut it in half or cut it by a third.
Yeah. I think that's fine because if we needed to, then we could add them back in the future. So at this point, I don't know that it's necessary.
I was gonna say, I don't know that we need it at all. It always can be added back, even if you take it all out.
Okay, well, that's fine, as long as we leave the category in case she needs it, and we don't have to go create anything.
No. The account number will still be the same, and the job description is already done for the,
Cut that out.
So what did we do, Susan, then, please? I couldn't.
so account 11444, the office administrator manager,
Uh-huh,
we are cutting the 41,114.
cutting it all?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're gonna leave in the part-time.
I probably would, just in case there happens to be a change, then she has money to cross-train somebody if needed.
Correct. I would prefer to keep the part-time,
Yeah.
for sure. Yep.
Everybody good with that? Okay, hearing nothing else to come before the council, we are in recess until tomorrow at 9:30.
I can tell you, I'll be here as close to 9:30 as I can be, but I've got